Supposedly the most sour candy.
There
I
you
don't
go.
know. We'll see. Yours looks
Black
better.
Death.
Count it
So,
off.
3, 2, 1.
Oh my god.
It's fine. Tastes like cardboard. Like, really, it's not like cardboard.
Oh my god.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
My mouth is so watery. I can't swallow.
It hurts the sides of your mouth.
It doesn't go away.
It's hot.
Well, how long do I have to suck it?
Gay!
Well, that was nice because we were able to pick the best sellers and things like that. What you found was,
Bitch, I can see you falling asleep while I'm telling my
I'm
story.
not falling asleep. Look, just try it.
Well, welcome to the Two Homeboys podcast, everybody. I am your host, Joe Walter with Tango Multimedia, and my beautiful co-host is Gabriel Cohen with Classy Art.
I think that was well done.
A little more polished, right?
I'm a little annoyed that it wasn't like jacked up. That's our thing. Let's do it again. Let's see if we can mess it up.
Okay. Hey, well, welcome. Good morning. Oh, it's nighttime. Shit.
There it is. That's what I'm talking
everybody.
about.
Happy Easter.
I know. What you used to say? It's good to see you.
It's good to see you. Yeah, we're getting better. That's my New Year's resolution.
All right. It's time for drinky poo.
We're doing it. We're starting.
Yeah, why not? My ice is nice and loose.
Oh, got that loose ice. You must know the secret trick.
Put salt on it.
I mean, for real.
I don't know what you're doing wrong. What's your bucket made of?
Metal. So this is my bucket.
I got a metal bucket. Do you have a top?
Yeah, I got a top, but I leave the top off because I don't want it clanging the whole time.
Well, maybe there's your problem. I leave my top on, and it doesn't. Which problem are you
inside of the bucket with aluminum
foil?
What did he say?
He's looking up your problem with the ice. Line up the inside of your bucket with aluminum foil.
Okay.
I think you try a top first before you get into the Reynolds wrap.
Well, I could put a book
plug.
I could put my traction book on top of it.
You don't have. You said you had the lid.
It's in the kitchen, which is not convenient to get to at the moment.
All right,
with my headphones connected. So you gonna start with what you drinking?
What I'm drinking?
Yeah.
Sure. So I am drinking Basil Hayden,
but not just any Basil Hayden. There's something special about that one.
Yeah, this is that cask finish, red wine cask finish.
Oh,
so
nice.
We'll see. I've never tried it. I've never even seen it. This was a gift from Craig Thyler, which I don't know that I've told you who Craig is, but
I know who Craig is.
Oh,
Craig got a sweet mustache. I know that.
Craig does have a sweet mustache. That rocking the standalone.
Are you curious? Oh, that's called a standalone.
Yeah.
I like that. I didn't know that had a name.
Yeah, he's giving policeman vibes for sure.
Oh, that's funny.
So Craig is the newest addition to Classy Art. He's come on as our VP of sales and ideally going to grow into a much larger position.
Is he going to grow into the P of sales?
Yeah, drop the V.
Drop the V. Get with the P. Hi, Craig.
Why did that sound like a ad for homosexuality?
Yeah. Good point.
So, anyways, yeah, he started last week. He'll be in Vegas, so everybody will get a chance to meet him. Great dude.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
very
Well,
good guy.
we're going to talk more about that, but before we get on to Craig, let's talk about your choice there. So Craig gave that to you as a gift.
Yes.
So you knew him prior to, was that a Christmas gift or a Hanukkah gift?
Well,
or an end of
neither.
the year gift?
Neither. He knew we had the podcast. He's one of our 2 followers, and knew we were bourbon guys. Hey, Craig, shout out.
Just call us up if you want to talk about something.
If you want to be on the podcast, we'll just throw you on FaceTime. Yeah, no, so he knew we were bourbon drinkers, and he's really good. He's a gift giver, like absolutely his love language. So either a bottle of bourbon or a cutting from some plant, because he knows I'm doing that. So yeah, that's what that was for.
Okay. And so you got to remember that now, like when it comes time to either reward Craig for a friendship or reward him for work, that he's a gift guy, not maybe not a words of affirmation guy or
right. That's
physical touch guy.
You would be careful not to blur those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you're more than friends.
Now that this episode is taking a turn.
Yeah. Wow.
Can we bring the V back? I want the V back.
All right. So while you're tasting that, I'm going with one of the ones that we got as a special on our Bourbon Trail trip. So I'm doing the
put your face close to it. Oh, there it is.
The Weller Special Reserve.
That's right.
That's a green label. If you can't, I don't know if green, I know they make other colors, so that didn't come out on the camera. That's what that is. That's green.
Yeah.
But that means something. I don't know enough about Weller to know the different levels and what they are. And I know that the guy that was the tour guide made it sound like this was a big deal.
They're somewhat difficult to find. The Weller in general is not difficult to find, but the Special Reserve is, and some of the other ones that they have are even more difficult to find, but it's good.
Yeah. You got one too, right?
Yeah, I did.
Did you finish it?
No. I like to drink a little from each, and make them last.
Yeah, same.
Show off.
2 homeboys.
Sure would like a glass.
Funny story. That's good.
This is 2.
So funny story about the glass. Owen gave me the glass for my birthday, and then he's aware of how disjointed you were about not having a glass to match, and how you got me the sign, but I didn't get you a glass, and you thought I bought the glass for myself and didn't get one for you. So I thought I haven't mentioned anything about it intentionally. Because I thought that he was getting a glass for you and bringing it to the wedding.
Oh, no. Maybe because I didn't recognize him, he decided to not give it to me. Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah. So he probably just forgot.
Yeah.
But you will get a glass one day. I will make sure that you get a glass. So how do you like that?
It's really good.
And compared to regular,
it's been a minute since I've had Basil Hayden because I keep buying all these like different things for the podcast. But I mean, this is a all-nighter. This is an easy drink. No swoosh. What do they call the swooshing?
Swishing.
No, there was a technical word.
Oh,
well, swishing is pretty technical.
Yeah, just
acclimating. Was it?
Sure. Yeah, it was acclimating.
Whatever. It's not actually necessary.
Good.
That is tasty.
Nice. So you would buy it again?
I would. Definitely. 100%. If I see that on the shelf, it's getting bought.
Good.
And it would probably make great gifts.
Yeah, for anybody who's a drinker and likes it.
Yeah. Craig, you know what you're getting for your birthday.
Yeah, you better make notes. So this is good.
The Weller.
This Weller is good. I don't know that I would go out of my way. I think I have other favorites. And so if I'm going to spend, and I don't remember it being like prohibitively expensive. It certainly wasn't an everyday kind of price. So, I think it was above the 30s, something like that. So I think I would get something else and save this for special occasions.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was going to buy something for special occasions, I would probably buy something other than this one.
Yeah.
So especially if it's hard to get, I wouldn't want to become part of a lottery or something to get this one.
Well, but if you were in a lottery and got pulled, you would still buy it.
Yeah.
Pass on it.
Well, I would. Yeah. Depending on what else was in that lottery.
Well, normally, I guess the lottery we are in, you get pulled for that bottle.
I got you. I'm thinking about like at my liquor store, if you buy enough, every time you buy something, you get points. And then you can only buy certain things if you also have points. So you have to have the money and the points.
Yeah.
And you could have the money, but if you don't have the points, they won't let you buy it.
Yeah.
And it's not always like expensive stuff. Sometimes it's just stuff that they don't get that much of.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would use my points for another one of these, if there was other stuff.
Yeah. Our liquor store, or the one we do the raffles and get the exotics, is you get the points, and so many points get you a ticket. Like every 5,000 points, you get a ticket or something. And then they'll raffle that bottle, or they'll say, we have, Pappy 10 year. We have 3 of them, and they'll pull 3 numbers. And so you can buy it at retail or not, which you're going to buy whatever they pull.
Yeah. So if they pull your number, you don't win it. You just win the right to buy it.
Right.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I think I would probably still, I guess,
but they make a big,
this.
Yeah, but they make a big event. Like they'll hold them back for like 6 months or something. And then they'll do some big event.
Yeah. All right.
For their alcoholic customers that have 5,000 points.
Yeah. I don't ask how many points it takes to get any of the stuff. And I'm really hoping that you get multiple points with each purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you get 5,000 points. That's a pretty hefty bill.
Yeah.
And of course, you don't buy you don't have that deal for your showroom alcohol because you're buying that in High Point. So everything that you're buying a lot.
We
there.
Do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, okay. It's Total Wine.
Mm.
And a lot, I don't know if we're allowed to do this, but we ship the liquor there. I think it's cheaper here. I don't know.
Well, you ship it in Craig's car. You don't actually ship it.
Yeah, we just drive it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Case, ATF is watching. I don't know. Is that the right?
What are the odds that they're the other of the two?
the other follower. Oh shit.
Yeah. It's a new year. Okay. So we'll start with this part. We're now in 2025. We're barely into 2025. So this is a new year. I think we should call this a new season.
Oh, this is season 2.
This is
assuming we get it out in 2025. We're recording it in 2025.
Right, yeah.
You know how this goes.
Right.
So
we're recording it before Valentine's Day and after New Year's Day.
There you go.
So that gives Alex a little leeway.
We're recording it on the day TikTok came back and the planet has been saved.
And ironically, the day TikTok was taken away.
It was taken away yesterday.
Yeah.
It was supposed to, I thought it was going to go away at midnight.
That's what I thought too.
But it cut off at like 8 or 9 o'clock.
Oh yeah. Your time. So 10, 11 our time.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't know if they
10.
broke it down by
rolling blackouts.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of cool to see, like, like the last couple days leading up to it, there was a lot of like goodbyes to TikTok and memories, like what do you call it? I'm having a brain fart. Where they stitch all the old ones together.
Oh, right.
Compilation.
Compilation.
Like a memory compilation. Those were fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, the obvious message today is that thank you, Trump, for allowing us to reinstate, even though he's not technically president yet. We got a couple of days. So I guess we're recording this on what is today, the 19th, 18th? I don't have a lot of time.
19th.
So he's not technically president yet, but he got credit for helping get it restored.
Yeah, a lot of credit.
Like homepage on TikTok with the billion freaking users credit.
Yeah, on the sign off and the sign in.
Yeah. So like brilliant marketing stunt. Did he actually throw some kind of weight around early? Like,
we'll never know.
I'm thinking it's like the one way it seems he could have actually impacted it early is if he said to them, you can go back on. I'm not going to do anything. Like the punishment is going to come by the time I'm president. So it would take them 2 days to do whatever the punishment is, whether it's fines or I don't even know what the punishment was for them continuing to work. So perhaps he said, go ahead, it's worth $1 million a day in fines, if that was it, for, to be on right away. And I'm not going to enforce that stuff anyways. So maybe that's how it goes through. Or maybe it is some kind of politically stacked thing. That, is not.
I don't know. Did you see the I think China fined Google like some crazy amount of money, like more money than there is in the world. Like,
oh really? No.
Yeah. This must have been a month or so ago. It was some astronomical number, like a number you would have never heard pronounced ever in your life.
For what?
Existing, I guess. I don't know.
Google's illegal in China, perhaps?
Must be.
Well, we're talking.
Maybe it was Russia. I don't know.
All right.
Why do I bring shit up? I haven't.
It's a good conversation.
I was hoping you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I saw that," but it was Germany, or I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good try.
Yeah, but I was a late bloomer to TikTok and was a naysayer and all that, but over the last 3 years, I don't know, something like that. I didn't start during the pandemic like everybody else, but I have really grown to love that app.
Yeah.
And not ashamed to say it and vocal about it.
Yeah. I get it. And I'm probably the opposite of that. I was an early adopter. In fact, I was an account holder of Musical.ly. So Musical.ly was the predecessor to TikTok.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it was essentially just kids lip syncing to popular songs. So that's what, and there, I got on it because my daughter was an early adopter of it. So, it's that thing where, you're looking at your kid's phone. She was probably 10 or something, and so what is that? She's like, well, Musical.ly, let's make one. And so I got on as a way to see the things that she was making. And then it became TikTok. I wasn't doing anything with it until probably the last 2 or 3 years, like you, as a serious user. But lately, I've been not using it very much because I'm getting so many ads.
It is frustrating. Yeah, I'm annoyed at that too. Every other TikTok, or maybe 2 out of 3, is creators selling something. Like
Yeah,
I'd rather just get an ad once in a while, but if the next video is an ad from a creator, that's annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not fooling anybody. In the beginning, you might have been fooled and you might have watched it for a while, but now, even though it's homemade,
Yeah.
you can still tell. And sometimes, even when it's not marked sponsored on the bottom or TikTok shop on the bottom, you still get kind of a ad feeling.
Yeah.
If they're talking too much about the microphone that they love, it's like, all right, this is starting to feel fishy.
Well, but I have bought several things from the TikTok shop via that thing. I'll go check it on Amazon to see who's cheaper. And sometimes Amazon, sometimes them, but some of the things have been super useful.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I like how they're delivering me things that I might be interested in. I don't like that if I change my mind about being interested, I'm still getting served the ads. But like, for example, we've got Enzo coming and all this, like it's going to snow in Houston and ice over. And I bought this giant, like plastic greenhouse. It's massive, 10 by 70 or something like that.
Really?
Yeah. And I could be making up 20 by 40. I don't know. It's fucking big. And I've been using it. Like all my potted plants are in there and a bunch of other stuff for the free.
So is it the kind of thing that you can erect around your existing stuff, or you this is
Joe's just
erect.
tired.
So, but can you erect it around your existing stuff in place, or you had to build it and then move the stuff into it?
You probably could, but I didn't put it over any of the like beds. I put it in a place I wanted, and then I'm gonna build tables and stuff inside of there. But right now it's just jam packed with anything that's in a pot.
And is it going to withstand a hurricane type of a structure, or it's temporary?
No, I'm having struggle with some of these large gusts of wind with Enzo. Like it already kind of tore in one area, but it's like $70. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah. But it's definitely serving its purpose.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but there's other things that I've like. They've served me ads like I don't know. Do you know what a finger lime is?
Whoa! Hey, now who's racy? I have no idea what that is.
It's just a fruit. It's like a species of lime, but they're like fingers shaped, and like come out in beads. And some are sweet, some are sour. Like whatever. It's something you don't normally see. So like it showed me seeds, and I've bought seeds from TikTok.
Oh.
And I wouldn't have ever thought to go look up finger limes, Yeah.
Successful. Do you have successful plants from those seeds?
Not yet. Still germinating.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. More on that later, folks. So I bought a couple of things. I'm also nervous about buying things on there because I feel like, if it's so bad that the government feels like we shouldn't have it on our phones because it's collecting all of our data in ways that we wouldn't want. Well, everything else is collecting our data too. Like there's no telling how much data Google has on us. Facebook, like I don't even have to enter credit card numbers anywhere anymore because Google has all my credit card numbers. Like
what's scary is I've had credit cards stolen and got a new number, and I didn't have to update my Apple Pay.
It just updates. Yeah. So Apple's got all your stuff.
But that's so this whole TikTok thing, and it's really a problem as an American citizen. And I don't want to get all Trumpy over here, but they are the entire country is saying we want this, that we want this, right? And the government is saying we're taking this from you. And so if we are government of the people, for the people, by the people, right? However that goes. I mean, they work for us, and not only was it not voted on, but it wasn't even debated in Congress. It got slid in with another bill for some relief, foreign relief to somewhere. I don't remember. It was one of those midnight deals. And so it slid through Congress that way. And then Biden signed it because he's just anti that. And when it went to the Supreme Court, it was more about does the ban contradict our First Amendment? And so that's all they're deciding on. They're not deciding if they're sending our data to China. There is no evidence that that has ever happened. There is evidence, however, that Meta has and that other apps and websites have and still do, right?
Well,
And so go ahead.
I thought that because it was owned by a Chinese company and the Chinese government owns the Chinese companies or can do whatever it wants. It's not that data has gone to the Chinese government yet, but at any moment they can get whatever they want because they're the Chinese government and they can do whatever they want. It doesn't matter that the company is the only thing that has the data at this point.
But the data centers are here.
Yeah.
Domestic. So, I don't know. I know that we have no evidence to show that TikTok has had data breaches or intentionally sent them, but we do have evidence that Meta has multiple times.
Yeah.
And what's really happening here is the amount of effort that Zuckerberg put into the lobbyists and the amount of money that went to grease all the palms to get it out of here because it was eating his lunch.
So that's what you think it's the other social media platforms, but then
100%.
Okay, but then you've got Elon, who has a massive social media platform and is a massive Trump supporter now.
Yeah.
And so, like, wouldn't he be kind of on Team Zuck in that argument as opposed to Team Trump? Or is that Trump saying, "Hey,
so
I don't care.
Okay,
I don't, Elon's a buddy, and he helped get me elected, but I don't care. I don't want, those other."
Well, this is what I like about Elon is that Elon knows right from wrong, whether it benefits him or not. And he'll say what he wants to say, even if it hurts his company.
Right.
And as an investor in his company, I still rather him be that, even if I know the stock's going to go down. So he was asked, how do you feel about the TikTok ban? And he was like, I don't think it's right for a government to ban anything ever. And he's like, I know that saying that is not the best for like my situation, but I am anti the TikTok ban.
Yeah.
And and the whole idea of censorship to begin with, right? So there's really this there's the part about the Meta wanting it to get banned and starting the whole conversation and then funding the conversation. The other part is that I think that our government is worried about us communicating and gathering so quickly when necessary. So the thing about TikTok that's different from all other social platforms is word gets around really fast and you're getting the real news, you're getting the real inside scoop, not what we were given on Fox News, CNN, whatever, right? And we were getting some of that on Facebook, Instagram, but not like TikTok.
Well, and I would push back a bit on the real part of that statement because I don't feel like anything is real anymore. I can't
see what you're
tell
saying. I see
what's real
and what's not.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. What I guess what I'm saying is there's a lot of stuff that big media would not tell us.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And it can spread really quickly. And so it would be up to, if it's truly harmful in some way, the way to address it is not to just block it. It's to make everyone aware of how harmful it is so that people don't want to do it. They don't want to be on there, like, and so wearing seatbelts. So, or drinking and driving, you could say, like,
make the effort to inform people, of there's a term for it, like false information,
misinformation or disinformation. Yeah. So maybe that's the way to address it rather than just kill it and say, you can't have this. It's, here's why you shouldn't have it in a compelling argument. But I didn't realize that Zuckerberg was behind all of that, but that makes total sense.
Oh, absolutely. He's behind it. Now, the other thing that he's doing now, which is like, so he's almost kind of becoming human now. I don't know if you've noticed, like, he's out in the public light more and
surfing and
taking up mixed martial art, whatever. He's like trying to become a human. But so he was on Joe Rogan. Did you see that or parts of it?
Just like a few days ago, I saw that.
Yeah, I didn't watch it,
but I haven't watched it yet.
But he's talking about the pressure. And Alex, if you get something you want me to flip to, just give me a thing, because I see you Googling. Alex is just researching as we're going. I can see him off screen here. But he was talking about the pressure that the Biden administration put on him to promote certain content and hush certain content or suppress. And so all of these talks of censorship, and it goes back to the Twitter files, right? Where Elon exposed all this, the exact same thing. But now Zuckerberg's like, oh, we're going to get rid of the fact checkers and we're all about free speech and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you were the king of censorship and taking away, like, subtly, not even telling us, taking away free speech and making us think that that was speech. That was the results of free speech. Yeah. And now you're coming to the other side. Essentially, the way I read it is, oh, now Trump's in office. Now you're trying to get on Trump's good side.
Yeah.
That's how I'm reading that.
Well, the whole thing scares the hell out of me. Because I don't know that I want Zuckerberg to be the one that's saying whether something is appropriate or not appropriate or real or not real.
Yeah.
So I don't think I like the owner of the company that's making the money getting to make those decisions. I don't really trust the government because they're all getting paid by somebody to, influence their decisions. And I don't just want it to go rampant willy-nilly with anybody can say anything, because you can make things look very official.
Right.
And the algorithms are set up to give you more of what you're interested in. And so I'm afraid that it further divides people, because instead of seeing both sides of an argument, you just see more and more of the stuff that you agree with.
So that's any algorithm.
Yeah. Any of them, not
algorithm.
Just right. Yeah. But you keep getting more and more. And maybe that happens in nature also. Like, you hang around with people who believe the way you believe.
That's
and
true.
You start not hanging around people who believe the opposite of
you.
Yeah.
If you are not Republican, you're not watching Fox News.
Yeah.
Right. So you used to create your own bubble just based on your own preference, but now the algorithm creates the bubble for you.
Yeah. And you were a little more limited before,
right.
Not to be all like back in my day, but before social media, your friends were the people around you.
Yeah.
People you worked with, the people in your neighborhood. And so you couldn't necessarily just move if you didn't like your next door neighbor's opinion. You might agree to not talk about it, or maybe once in a while you have a debate or something like that. But now you don't even have to engage with the people around you. Whoa, is that
that's the Kroger?
Kroger water.
Purified drinking water.
I like Kroger. I would like to see Kroger and Publix go head to head in a UFC match.
Publix wins.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What about that other one, HEB?
HEB's got some shit though. HEB got some moves.
Yeah.
HEB's bringing home the title, baby.
You think so? Do you think they can topple Publix?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
It's interesting how people are pretty unanimous. Like when you talk about Publix in a town where somebody has one or has experienced it,
they love it.
They almost always pick Publix over whatever, Food City or Food Lion or whatever the other choices are. Like, how are they so dominant against so many other chains?
That's HEB here in Texas. Yeah. Now I know Publix. I've never lived near one, but I like their food. Like, it's a great store.
Yeah. You've been enough trips in places where they have Publix.
Yeah. And I had this whole thing.
What's the plural of Publix?
Publi.
Publixes.
But when I was dating Angel, we had, what's your favorite fried chicken? And she said Publix. And I'm like, a grocery store? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And she was like, you got to have it. And it was delicious. And now if I'm in a Publix, I'm grabbing a few pieces no matter what.
Okay.
Even if I'm not hungry. You've probably seen me do it and not know. And it's because of that.
No, we all point and laugh.
Yeah, that's fine. And but Kroger can kiss my ass. Let me tell you why.
Uh-oh.
So part of it's about the chicken, but part of it, you're not seeing this, but I'm on a brand new laptop today.
Oh,
a very expensive laptop. This is how I buy laptops. I go in, and typically I can't buy them at the store because I want something more souped up than what they have.
All right.
But if I'm in a hurry and I can't get it in time, I'll say, give me the top of the line MacBook 16-inch you have. The newest with all the bells and whistles that you have in inventory. All right. So I buy that on.
Not at Kroger.
No, at the Apple store.
Okay.
On Wednesday. I leave from the Apple store, go to Kroger. I'm just going to run in and grab something from the deli. So I go in, I eat some of their fried chicken. I didn't even eat it, half of it. It was terrible. It was dry, flavorless. And I go back into my car, and there's like a piece of glass, like a little shard in my driver's seat. And I'm like, what the fuck? And 2 weeks ago, my car got broken into at some fancy restaurant in Valet, and I had glass all over. And so we had to vacuum and, all this. And now I look, and I have a piece of glass on the driver's side, and I'm like, we vacuumed the shit out of this. And I look to the back window. They broke in again.
Oh
and
my
now
gosh.
I'm like, shit. And then I'm like, what'd they take? And I'm like looking around, and it hit me. That top of the line MacBook was on the floorboard. So they took that. So now here I go back to the Apple store, to buy another one.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Yeah. It's not good.
Does your car insurance cover any part of that?
So there's a couple avenues. First, we're going to go through the credit card. Like they have some consumer protection stuff. And then if not, that is a home insurance or renter's insurance, not a car insurance claim.
Oh my gosh.
If they steal something from your car, it's a homeowner's insurance claim.
I have no idea. That's terrible. And does Kroger have cameras? I mean, it's kind of hard to believe they wouldn't have cameras in their parking lot.
It was a nice area. I mean, the cameras I saw were like way at the top of the building, like 50 spaces away. I didn't see any on the poles. But like when I got to the car, I'm like parked on this side, and right across is the security, like in a parking spot. And I like walk over there like, not like, did you, I just got broke. Like, you didn't hear anything.
Smashed my window.
Just fucking scrolling her damn phone. And so part of the claims process for insurance or for the credit card, you need like a police report. So this lady who didn't hear anything just sitting right across from it, whose job is to protect the cars in that parking lot. She's like asking me all the questions, getting the model and my license and all this. And I'm with her for like 30 minutes. And I'm like thinking in my mind, I got to go to the police station. I got to go back to Apple. I still need to run to FedEx. Like I got to fix my fucking window today. And I'm with her for 30 minutes. And I'm like, can you make sure I get a copy of that? She's like, oh, we don't have a way of doing that. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why am I wasting time here with you? I was like, I gotta go, let me know if you catch the thief, like you're gonna investigate this matter. So
was it daytime or nighttime?
Broad daylight, 2 p.m.
So somebody smashed your window in a grocery store parking lot in the daylight.
Very busy.
Nobody saw nothing.
Nice neighborhood too.
Seems fishy.
It was probably the security guard.
Like, right? I mean, it seems really fishy. And, like if you saw somebody hit a window of a car hard enough to break it open, you would at least kind of stop and pay attention for a second. It would make noise, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you would think. A loud noise.
Yeah.
I got another fucked up story from today. So last night, well, actually, I guess it was more last night. So we own a quadplex, and one of the tenants is saying there's a woman trying to get into Unit C. She's like trying to get in with the credit card and like checking all the windows. And so our tenant asked her like, hey, what are you doing? And she was like, oh, I leased this place for $3,000. And she's like, yeah, she knows what the rent is there. It ain't no $3,000.
Yeah. And she knows you guys. And she knows who lives there already.
Right. And so, okay. So the woman ends up like, she's got a suitcase. She ends up just sitting kind of in like between the buildings for hours. I didn't find this out till today, for hours. And then around 3 a.m, my tenant hears like somebody in that unit, like going up and down the stairs. So like Jonathan had already called the police. Then they said, call the emergency line. So he called 911. Nobody ever showed up. So then now we think the woman is still in the place. So I had to go today. And so I called 911. An hour goes by, call them again. Finally, they come and they had to clear the unit, which it's kind of interesting how they cleared it. So they knock on the door, Houston Police Department. Like, okay. And then they wait like a couple minutes, knock again. Then they take the key that I gave them and they're screaming at the door, Houston Police Department, let us know if you're in there, like acknowledge yourself. And like whoever's in there has had time to pack and leave out a window or whatever. And they cleared the house and she wasn't in there and apparently never had been. Like everything was locked down. So, but this is the second time we've heard noises from in that unit. And last time it was 2 tenants heard noises in that unit, but nobody was ever in there.
Does it have an attic or something that they could climb into or someplace they could hide?
They're here. The first time months ago, I was telling you, they heard voices and like children, but there's nobody there. Like I'm starting to think it's haunted.
Oh, jeez.
While I'm getting ready to come here, my tenant texts me with her Ring footage, her Ring camera. The woman's back again, trying to get in through the windows. And
right now.
About an hour or two ago. I let it go at this point. I'm just done with it.
Yeah. Maybe she's getting in and she's a very tidy tenant. She gets in.
yeah.
She just
locking the window behind her on the way out.
Yeah. And then she just leaves and locks herself out.
So yeah, I've had some shit happening.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's all good.
God.
No
what does it cost for the top of the line Apple computer?
Well, that they carry in store.
Yeah.
4,300, give or take.
Oh my gosh. Wow. But you don't have to get those very often. I mean, you had to get 2 this week, but aside from that.
Too soon, bro. Too soon.
You can't laugh, you'll cry. So,
right.
But normally,
yeah,
like one of you're a big Apple computer fan, and
I will ride it till the wheels fall off. Yeah,
Yeah.
I will keep it for a very, very long time. And I stress a computer out. Like, it is hard for a computer to keep up with everything I got going on, you know? And so it's better to spend the money and get something that can handle it, because it's going to cost me down the road. I'll be less productive or whatever.
Right. I'm in that place right now where, like, the computer's probably 3 years old, and it's starting to display the signs of failure coming soon.
PC?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't do it again.
I've already got the next one.
PC.
Ironically, yeah, but I got it for free. I got exactly the same computer that I have, exactly the same, just by total coincidence, for free from Google. So when you're a Google partner and you do enough with them, you don't get any perks. So when agencies talk about being a Google partner and the importance of that, you get almost nothing for being a Google partner. The one thing you get is you earn points, and then you can buy things from a little Google store with the points. So, like, I have
enough to buy a laptop.
I got a hat, and then I got a t-shirt,
okay,
and I got a laptop. So the one thing that I did get with a fair amount of points was the replacement laptop for once this one goes bad. I already own the backup.
Well, that's a big jump. But
yeah,
I was
but that was
PC advocate.
15 years of accruing points to get enough to get a laptop.
Yeah,
we're spending $1 million a month with them. So
yeah, the PCs always end up running their course really quickly. A Mac, like that last one, was a 2016.
Okay. Yeah.
So
that's a long time.
Right. And it just started having issues, like, and it couldn't, there were some issues that got repaired here and there, but like it always works. There's never it's laggy, it's slow, it crashes. You just open it and it just works. And that's really important. I don't care if it's free. I just want it to work all the time. If I lose an hour of productivity, that's a whole lot more than $5,000.
Right. Yeah, I get it. And you never hear anybody that has a Mac say, I wish I had gone back to PC. Nobody says, I wish I had not switched.
We changed our deal here because we were all PCs, and I was huge PC fan. But after I was Mac for so long and recognized how many times I was buying replacement PCs for all my office staff, from it just went to Mac, and I caught resistance. So like Priscilla, for example, her last laptop, she was like, I need a new laptop. I'm like, okay, well, you're getting a Mac. And she's like, no, I don't want a Mac. I don't know how to use it. I was like, well, here's your option. You can get a Mac from me, or you can go buy your own PC. And so it was like a real simple, and now ask her how she likes it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nobody wants the learning curve, but once you're over that hump, man, life is good.
Yeah.
Fuck, we are selling some PCs on this podcast. Look at the feed. Look at the chat. Look at all these guys. Send us links. Thank you, Bob.
Oh, that's so funny.
The chat is blowing up.
The chat is, yeah. We love you too, Rank.
We got Liverpool in the house. Who else is in here?
3 homeboys. Good to see you. That was so good. Nicely played. So then, continuing to work backwards in the weeks, you hired this fella, Craig.
Yeah.
So Craig's going to be part of the team. What was the? Did you create a VP of sales in order to bring Craig in?
Yeah.
Or was that a position that was vacant and you've been looking for somebody?
Both.
Okay.
So, we've needed a sales manager for quite some time. That's not necessarily his strength or what he specializes in by any means. One of the things, and you've heard me say this in the past, is we don't hire a role, like especially kind of in the management area. We hire the person, like hire the heart, hire the soul, hire the ethic,
Yeah.
and that stuff, and then find what they're best at and how does that provide value to the company. And so,
I heard that's how you got your forklift driver.
yeah, he's good. He's certified.
He's got a lot of heart, that forklift driver.
But like it's how we hired Camila, it's how we hired Priscilla, Blake, right? Like you fall in love with the person, the rest comes naturally. Like it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
And so, I'm a member of Vistage, and for our 6 viewers, Vistage is a worldwide network of CEOs and entrepreneurs that meet in these small groups. And you bring all your problems to the table, and everybody helps each other. And so Craig was the CEO of a company significantly larger than us by like 5-6 fold. And but
TikTok.
when the first meeting we had together, we like bromanced out at first sight. It was like love at first sight for bromance, right? Just like spitting movie quotes, laughing at doo-doo jokes, like all the, and I was like, this guy's great. Did we, and then it was like, did we just become best friends? Like the Step Brothers things, like,
Yeah.
So anyhow, over the next several months, like when he's talking about what he's going through in his company, and I'm like, man, he would be such a good fit for us. Like he's really sharp. He's really a hustler and culturally just perfect. But he had this big job, and I'm not going to we're in the same group. Like I'm not going to poach, and hell, I couldn't afford him anyways. So, so then I find out he got let go, and we're at our retreat we have in Lake Charles, which is like the casinos everybody in Texas goes to. So we have our annual retreat.
So like for the viewers, the value, I think this part is kind of interesting. The value of the Vistage group is so great that this guy came even though he had been let go. Like he still wanted to be part of this group.
Yes.
It wasn't related to his job.
And there are several. So in my group, we had another guy that had gotten let go from his even bigger job, but he still runs his companies and is building another one, but he's no longer the CEO of his company anymore. He's still there. And then we had one guy who just sold his company for, I don't know, like 120 million, some shit. And so he still comes every month. This year alone, our group, I think, sold, I don't remember if it was 3 or 4 companies, sold for over $1 billion, exited their companies in our small group of 12 people.
And would a group like that be appropriate for a furniture store owner or a mattress store owner?
1000% yes. So,
and is there a level like if they're doing 500,000 a year, does it still make sense, or do they have to
there's different groups.
Certain amount of business?
There's different groups. So I was introduced to Vistage by a furniture store owner, my buddy, your buddy, Sunil, and he was like, "You have to get in here." And it was like $1,000 a month, but it's worth every penny. And I'm like, I don't have $1,000 a month. And this was a long time ago. I couldn't afford it then.
Mm-hmm.
And but I did interview a few small groups and see what I thought, and just couldn't afford it. And then the timing was wrong, and then whatever. And then I had breakfast with Ken, Ken Jones, and we were meeting with him to go over an investment opportunity Jonathan and I were going to make in a Bitcoin mining farm, which was way over his head, but we had the breakfast, and he gave some good feedback. But he said, "You guys should think about joining my Vistage group." And I was like, "You have a Vistage group?" Like, "Yeah, we're in." He's like, "All right, send you information." I said, "I don't want any, just, we're in." And he kept just like trying to sell it. I'm like, I'm in. I don't care. Like, I know enough about Vistage. I know enough about Ken, right? This is the one professor that I've stayed close with my whole life. So anyways, so we're in Lake Charles at the retreat. So yes, Vistage is a very, very valuable tool. If you're interested, please look it up. There's probably several chapters in your city. And then you'll meet with different Vistage chairs. So a chair will run a group, or they maybe run 2 or 3 groups.
And what about if you don't own the business? If you're
there are groups
a
for that.
salesperson or a rep, or
so there
rep
are
owns their own business.
there are groups in Vistage for like say just upper level executives. And then there are also groups for like, let's say somebody who sells insurance, they're kind of still like their own entity, right?
Yeah.
Like they're self-employed, but still have an employer. Like there are groups for that within the Vistage network as well.
Okay.
So
you're at Lake Charles. I'm sorry.
So we're at Lake Charles, and Ken had told me he'd gotten let go, but I hadn't like talked to him or seen him or anything like that. And we're doing our reflections for the year, and he tells me he's get let go, and I didn't say anything then, but I couldn't help but think like this guy'd be fucking great. But I also know I can't afford him. Like, I don't know what he's making, but I know I can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're busy at the meeting, so on the way home, we have a 2-hour drive home, and I text him. I'm like, "Look, man, like I didn't bring it up, but I can't help but think you'd be like an amazing fit here."
You text him from a stoplight.
I was a passenger princess. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay.
Feet on the dash, hair blowing in the wind.
Woo, that's very dangerous having your feet on the dash. No.
We turn the airbags off. Leave me alone, Dad. So anyways, he immediately responded. He was like, I've been thinking about it too. Like, it makes sense. And so we spent a month going back and forth how to make it work financially for both of us. And he got some ginormous offers. And but it was more of the same of what he was doing, same industry, same type of deal. And his thing with Classy Art is, one, obviously the culture and Jonathan and I, but also he's really passionate about art. And he loves the idea that he finally gets to be his true, authentic self, which never occurs in where he was.
And like, do you know company size wise from a personnel standpoint? Like how many people were at his last company compared to how many people are at?
I don't know. I don't know how many people. I know their revenues and their EBITDAs, but I don't know how many people.
Yeah, I don't want you divulging all that, but
yeah. But anyways, so yeah, we're super excited about it. And the reason it's VP sales, because he has all of the know-how. Like he is CEO material. He has been CEO. He was good at it. His numbers speak for themselves. But we really need to focus on sales with after the last 2 years of everything that's happened in our industry. So that's where he's focusing, and then we'll grow into some other below the line stuff.
Yeah.
Moving forward after that.
Well, it's also structurally kind of an interesting way to do that, especially in this circumstance where maybe you didn't have enough to pay him a CEO kind of level. It gives you somewhere to work up to, not just in money, but in title changes also.
Right. Yeah. He's got somewhere to move up, and there's very specific benchmarks. He knows the goal. So he's really good at knowing what the goal is and getting it. And then you have to make that repeatable, and then you're here. Like, we don't have to have a conversation. You don't have to come and say, hey, have I made it for the promotion you promised? No. Here are the goals. Here's the next level,
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I mean, it sounds like you're already doing this, but for other business owners, one of the things that I have really appreciated about Terry, who is the owner of Tango, is he got, when he hired me, it was at a discount. And he knew it, I knew it, it wasn't that, there was no question about it. And I never had to ask him to ratchet me up, as, the years passed and the performance improved the performance of the company improved and the revenue improved. Like he always, took the initiative. And even when he couldn't take the initiative, like if the funds weren't necessarily there, he would remind me, he's like, I know, that you're not where you need to be, or I know that you're not where you deserve. And, I'm working on it and it's a goal. And I always appreciated that. I think that I feel like that's rare, that
I think so too.
does that. So many people have to go and ask, for an increase in their compensation.
Yeah.
And so I think, being on top of it and bringing it up through the years. So even with Craig, as you go along and saying, I know we're not there, but we're all striving to get there, and you won't have to remind me, like you just said. Like,
yeah,
it's going to happen.
Yeah. So it's all good. So Trump has a cryptocurrency.
Speaking of things that I'm skeptical of.
Jonathan sent me a text yesterday or day before. He's like, hey, Trump has a coin. I'm gonna throw $100 or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, I bought some.
Okay. So Gabe and I, we gauge what he spends on stuff. I know I asked for a flat out price on the MacBook, but generally we go over under on his fireworks budget.
So
is this under your fireworks budget?
Hold on, I want to brag on this Trump return.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it went up. I think it doubled up. What'd you say? You put it up? Let's see what we got here. Official price Trump today. So I think I bought it in 25-26, like a day or two ago. It hit 70.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So to go pull up the chart. Can you pull up the chart?
Yeah.
That's all right.
This is interesting.
So the story Joe is talking about. So most of y'all know Jonathan is and has been a crypto aficionado for a long time. He started mining 8-9 years ago. Like, it's been his world for a long time. And so he talks a lot about it and he's super passionate about it. And Joe finally one day at Market's like, all right, I'm gonna buy some.
No, at your birthday. It was your birthday party.
Oh, was it?
And that river in Alabama.
Okay. So Joe buys some. I don't know how much. Or no, I found out how much later. I think I found out how much in High Point. And I was like, are you serious? Like, what are you gonna do with that? Like, I don't know. It was a couple $100 or something.
Yeah.
And
600, I think is the.
Was that it? I thought it was less than that.
Well, I might have bought I got up to 600.
Okay.
So it might have been 100, 200, something like that then. And then I kept adding to it.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Jonathan convinced me. So ultimately it got to 600.
But it was when it was declining, I remember. Or
yeah.
So that was
I was dollar cost averaging on the way down.
Joe crying. When did it go? Yeah. But anyways, I went and took my kids and bought fireworks. And Joe was like, I can't believe you spend money on that dumb shit. Like, how much did you spend? And I go, more than you have in crypto. Oh, we had a good laugh.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So this time you bought more than your fireworks budget or less than your fireworks budget in Trump coin?
just about the same as my fireworks budget.
Hmm.
Which, by the way, we're gonna just not take a break, but we're gonna have to add Alex. I just want our viewers to listen to the
Here, I'll pop it up right here. Click on the other one.
shit Joe sends me.
Here's a weird thing that I do. I have different caliber of nuts.
Hold on. So, mind you, I'm just sitting home on Friday and I get this message from Joe and I decided to let's start it over.
It just cut out on you. You decided to what? Here's a weird thing that I do.
Share.
I have different caliber of nuts, and I put them in a snack bowl based on what I like most. And so I like the macadamia nuts most, so I put them at the bottom of the bowl. And then I like these truffle almonds, so I put them in next. And then I like these rosemary ones a little less than the truffle ones, so I put them in next. And then I like the Brazil nuts the least, so I put them in last.
Sorry. I had to do it.
That just comes up now? Like you just
Well, I saved it. I saved it for this particular moment. We have one more.
Oh, come on.
We have one more. We have one
Oh
more.
my
We're
gosh.
working on.
Is this my snow day?
I didn't bring up this snow day, but that'd be a good one. We'll see if Alex gets this other one up.
Yeah, so that's fun.
I like those the worst.
So how about New Year's resolutions? You make them? You keep them? Do you...
My New Year's resolution is to not drink a whole bottle of wine by myself on a Friday night.
Oh, all right.
Mm-hmm.
The bar's low.
Yeah.
So you know what you could do?
Tell me when.
I got the perfect solution for you. Soon as you open the bottle, pour a little bit in the sink, and then no matter what happens,
You
can't
always
drink
win.
the whole bottle. Yeah, done.
I like that.
But you're
like
not.
that.
It's harder to have the self-control at the end of the bottle, so you got to take the hit at the beginning.
That's pretty good.
Or the whole first glass.
That's good advice. I think you should take your own advice.
Yeah.
But how are we coming?
Oh, geez. This feels unfair. I don't have any videos of you to share. You punishing me for sharing my life with you. That's
All right,
what's
go.
happening here.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a whole bottle of wine at home by yourself on a Friday and then sent your buddy a voice memo right after you're done peeing because now you want to have a beer even though you've already had a whole bottle of wine? Yeah, me neither.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. So that's not really your New Year's resolution. You were just making fun of me for my voicemail that I left you. All right. I get it.
It wasn't even a voicemail. It was an audio note while you were peeing.
Well, don't spoil it for the people. Oh,
I
guess
it's been dubbed in already.
Yeah. By now they will have heard it.
Yeah.
All right,
Plus,
good.
All right.
So that's not really your New Year's resolution.
No, I haven't really said any.
Yeah. I don't have any either. So
Should we do that now?
no, I don't like them. You know, I mean, sort of always
They always make you feel like a failure.
Well, no, I mean, always on some kind of self-improvement journey. And so, I mean, I guess if you identify it, then it gives you a goal and you kind of know if you hit the goal. And especially if it has a number assigned to it, then you can kind of check up on yourself monthly or quarterly or whatever. But
yeah,
you know.
I'm definitely more of a fan of goals than New Year's resolutions.
Yeah. It feels cliche, and I feel like you are setting yourself up to fail if you do it as a New Year's resolution. Where instead of just maybe in a couple of weeks, I'll say, I should start benching 300 again.
Again.
What? I might have done it just because you weren't there.
Sure.
So then holidays. We're continuing to go backwards. Holidays. What'd you do for the holidays?
Uli came to town, I hosted the family, had the kids. I host every other year. Like, so when I have Charlize for Christmas, I'll host, do the tree, do the lights, do all the things.
So if she's not with you, you don't do a tree?
I don't. It's
Really?
a lot. It's a lot. It's a Sean tree. It's a Sean tree. It's very intricate.
We should have a picture of that to put up, but
enter here. Yeah, I'll send you something. But yeah, no, don't look up Sean. Look at this dude. He's looking up Sean trees. For those listeners who don't know Sean is our designer / friend / client / vendor / customer, all the things.
I bet if Alex found his Instagram, there's got to be a picture of a tree on there somewhere.
Yeah, it's a very elaborate design. It's a designer tree. That's what it is. But it's a lot of work. It's a big old mess. There's glitter everywhere for weeks. So yeah, no, if I don't have Charlize and I'm only going to see her 7-8 days the whole month, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But if I have her on those Christmases, then I have her for longer in December. I'll host the family and I'll put it up and do other things. And then, but yeah, I definitely bit off more than I can chew. I had some issues in my shed. That was like a 50-hour project, maybe, that took a very long time to finish and had to get it done. And somehow I volunteered to make charo beans, which is a Mexican bean dish, like the soupy beans you eat. So meanwhile, Uli was in town. And so it was a stressful lead up. And then on the backside of Christmas, it was like, very like, all right, it's over. It was great. I'm glad we did all the things. But what about you?
Yeah. That was good. We went our separate ways. So, which we'll back into that story too here. But Bree went to her family in Kingsport. I went to Florida and stayed with my parents and saw my kids. And so we had a good time. I learned something. So I spent 2 days with my dad and stepmom, and they watch game shows all day long, or did their game shows that I didn't think existed anymore.
Like Price is Right?
Price is Right, Wheel of Fortune, Make a Deal, Jeopardy. I didn't, and they all have, all the hosts are dead. All the people that you would recognize are not there.
Wait, Drew Carey, isn't he doing Price is Right?
Yeah, but it was Bob Barker. Like, don't you know?
Well, yeah, he was Bob Barker. Right. That's the second time you bring up him today.
That's weird. We got something, me and Bob.
Yeah.
There's a connection there from the afterlife. Whoa. Finger limes. So yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised at how much of that was still out there in the world. And
what's that Brady guy? Is he on one of them? The Brady guy?
Yeah.
Wayne Brady.
Wayne Brady.
Yeah. What's he doing?
He's on one of them. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember which one. He's on one of them.
All right.
So, but when you think about marketing, here you got people that have nothing to do, but they're spending money. They just bought a house. They had to buy all new furniture, and you want to target them. You want to reach, and they had to do other things with this house. The pavers and the door and the landscaping. And they had to do a bunch of stuff to it. And so, if you are in the home services business and you want to reach somebody, would you think we should be on Price is Right? Or those like daytime game show TV. I wouldn't think that would be a first
Yeah.
choice for a lot of people. Like,
well, but your dad and stepmom are, well, I don't know this as a fact, but sound like a different breed. Like they didn't downsize, they didn't stay put, like just got a new house in their, what are they, 70?
yeah,
You
late
know,
70s.
So I don't think that's the norm, but I
Yeah,
could be wrong.
maybe not. But like in the advertising world, you would normally, or you would have traditionally said, the people who are watching daytime TV are the people that don't have jobs.
Mm.
And so do we really want to advertise? Yeah, like you can. I mean, at least in the last 25 or 30 years, you could reach those folks, but don't you want working folks? And so you kind of target your advertising towards the early morning and the later part of the afternoon or evening time. And you certainly wouldn't have picked game shows. So it was just a curious thing and really highlighted how people are all over the place. And another example of that that's unrelated is, we do streaming TV advertising, and streaming TV can show up on your television set, but it can also show up on your computer and your mobile device when you're on websites that have video. And sometimes when you're not on a website that has video, like, if you go to a website to read an article about plants or whatever, sometimes there's like a video ad that pops up that can be part of or fed by that whole streaming TV platform. So, or if you're on something like your local news and you have to watch a commercial before you watch their video about the local storm or whatever that's coming up. We had a client that wanted to target women, and they saw their report that shows all of the different places that their ad showed up. And one of the places was ESPN. And they were kind of perplexed by that. They're like, wait a minute, we're targeting women. Why is our ad showing on ESPN? And it's like, it occurred to me that lots of women watch sports. So while ESPN in a traditional sense, like if you were picking a network to advertise on it, in the old days, you might not have picked it because perhaps it skews more male than female.
Right.
But today, you don't have to be concerned with where the ad shows. You're following the person.
Right.
So whether they're watching game shows or they're watching ESPN and you're targeting women, it could very well be, it would be a woman that was watching in that particular instance.
Right.
And so it just sort of surprised me that, somebody would have that reaction. Like, I know a lot of women that watch sports. And in fact, a lot of women do watch sports.
Yeah, it's grown a lot the last 10 years. I feel like
and I bet that you could rattle off a bunch of people that are interested in their college football games or even interested in the playoffs that are going on now, more so than you and I.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't even know that there's a big game going on right now with Snowy and Battle. And neither of us had the heart to
funny.
tell Tom.
I was telling Alex, I was like, for football. Priorities, man. But
yeah, it's a big deal to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was happening. And
I didn't even know the Texans were playing in the playoffs.
Yeah, yesterday they got beat. I
didn't even know the playoffs were happening.
I only know that the Texans got beat because it was on the TV at the Mexican restaurant.
Want to do some drugs?
Yeah. I mean, is it time? I think we save it for the end. Is this the end?
Oh, I don't know. Okay. I'm kind of anxious.
All right.
Well. All right. Stick around, guys. Boys and girls.
Yeah, I think that's the grand finale. But that was a good tease. That's a good tease. I have more than you. I didn't realize that I got so many, but I got
foreshadowing
5 of them.
Stick them all in. I figured you'd do another
Right.
round with Owen and
Oh yeah,
Emily.
yeah, I will.
I kind of want to redo so I can do one with Charlize because she's always watching all those YouTubes.
Well, the good news is the TikTok shop is back open, so you can buy them
Yes,
again.
hell yeah.
Going back to that, I was on some level relieved because one of the reactions was, thank goodness, we have one less thing to check. We got one less platform to distract me from getting more serious stuff done. And, it's probably better for me as a person and maybe better for a lot of people to not have TikTok. But then, like, when it actually went dark, then I found myself feeling really bad for the people who make their living off
They're
of that.
living, right? That's a lot. And Jonathan, not my brother, but Jonathan, who
Ronnie's son-in-law.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine how that would impact him.
Yeah. Then I really started feeling bad for folks
with no control. Just
have your whole income yanked from you and not able to do anything about it other than encourage people to go to other platforms. And even then I don't know how they pay compared to what TikTok pays or how their viewership is compared to what and the algorithms, like all of it. Just, our clips go to YouTube Shorts, but does anybody watch YouTube Shorts? Like, certainly not on the level of
Alex raised his hand. I know Charlize does because she's not allowed on TikTok.
So maybe,
my thing. So I had some of that. Like, maybe this is for the best feeling. So I can notice that I am noticeably in worse moods after what do I call it? Doom scrolling, death scrolling. What is it? Doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling.
I am noticeably in worse moods and have to get myself up and out of it and go do something. And so from a mental health perspective, it was kind of like, this is good. But in that short period, even though I really didn't have an opportunity to doom scroll, I missed it. And I won't do it aimlessly though. There was that period where I had a problem. Like, I missed work. I couldn't sleep because I was doom scrolling, like up for days.
Yeah.
But that's not what it is. Now I just watch it when I go to sleep. Or if I've had a really hard day, I just want to numb my mind. So, not everybody has, some people have different types of jobs, but my job's very demanding in that there are a lot of going in and out, and I'm working with hundreds of people every day and trying to fix all their problems.
He's a hat maker. That's what
I make a lot of hats. So like at the end of the day, I'm like exhausted. And some days I have a lot of energy. I'll go to the garden, I'll cook dinner, whatever. But some days I'm just like, I'm done. And so I'll lay down and just an hour of TikTok. Even though I know I'm going to feel emotionally worse, I'm going to also feel emotionally rested. So that was for me what it's been lately.
It's a mindless thing
it's a mindless thing. It's a less healthy meditation.
And do you find that you like learn stuff?
Oh, yeah, I learn a ton.
That's what I like. So I think it's not entirely.
That's true. I was just saying, like, from the perspective of, oh, I'm kind of glad it's gone because I'm going to get more done. I'm going to feel better every day. I was just kind of adding on to the app as a whole, I love. I have learned so much that has drastically changed my life. I am a better person today because of TikTok. I am a more successful person today because of TikTok. I am a better gardener. I couldn't plant anything without. I am a more godly man because of TikTok. Like, I am healthier in a relationship because of TikTok.
Okay.
Like, a lot of things.
So what has had a bigger impact, TikTok or ceremony?
Yeah, you can't really compare the two. That's a good
Different
point.
experience.
Different experience. But and most of you guys don't know what he's talking about ceremony, and if you don't, I'm not going to explain it to you because this is a public platform and I have children. But
I think they
okay,
the one
so
if you know kind of thing.
I would say that ceremony would not have been as impactful for me in my life if I didn't have the education from TikTok to further my spirituality and back the things I was learning at ceremony and
Alright.
and continue with daily practices that were jump started because of ceremony.
Right. Okay. Fair.
So, yeah, for me, it's a big deal. I mean, that stuff really, really changed my life from a place that I didn't want to be in. I didn't want to be in that life,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? And so,
You
from the
didn't want to
depths
be
of
in the
hell,
life pre-ceremony.
I didn't want to be alive.
Right. Right. Just clarifying there. It's not that you didn't want to be in the ceremony life. You didn't want to be in the life that was before that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if there's an opportunity to talk about that right here and maybe help somebody out there, nothing in life has changed. And Benjamin Franklin had a quote, happiness is not on outward circumstances, but an inward disposition of mind. And I had printed that decades ago, but it for some reason I remember that because through that inner journey of self is where I found happiness and love. And it has nothing to do with things that are outside. It's not the better car, it's not the girlfriend, it's not the none of that. It's inside and loving that child inside of you. And you can't do that until you've done the work to heal those traumas and things like that. But most people don't know what those traumas are. And so nothing in life has changed, right? Little circumstances here and there, but that's not what makes you depressed or happy. What makes you happy or depressed is the firing of your brain and how those neurons are wired together. And if you can learn to change your thought patterns, which takes work, but you have to believe the thoughts to continue to keep thinking those thoughts to now create those new neurological pathways. And then you can learn to love life in any circumstance.
Yeah. Which this, there's a valuable message in that. And perhaps there's a time when this podcast kind of takes that direction. But I think we need more feedback from folks saying, I want you to talk more about that. Assuming you would be comfortable talking more about that.
Yeah. I mean, I would.
So I always think of you as a teacher. So more than anything else. And so I think it's a good platform for teaching that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah. So that if you three want to hear more about it, put it in the feed.
Gerald sent a clapping hands emoji. So, I feel like there's a lot of shady shit going on, with the TikTok stopping and starting. I feel like there's more to that. This Big Lots thing. So kind of back to the home furnishings industry.
Yeah.
The Big Lots thing. I think there's some real funny business going on there too. And so, I would like to get your opinion on it, but there's a company that, was massive and then said, we've got to downsize, close a bunch of stores. We're going to leave 850 stores open, but, we're struggling. And so we're going to leave these 850 stores open. And then within a few weeks, they say, we've got to close those stores too. Like Big Lots is going out of business. And then another company comes in and says, we're going to buy it. We can keep them open.
Yeah.
And then at the last minute, that company says, we're backing out.
Yeah.
We're not buying it. Like it's not as good as we thought it was going to be. We kind of did our due diligence. We looked at the numbers and now we don't want it. And then immediately Big Lots, like the next day, they start going out of business sales in all the rest of the stores. And then a couple of weeks later, another company comes in and they say, we're going to buy whatever that means. Now we're going to buy it, and we're going to save 200 to 400 of the stores. All of that just seemed like,
yeah, I don't know how it's all
what-
legal.
What's going on?
Yeah.
How can you do that? And if you're,
But they all have a bit of that. All those bankruptcies have a bit of that on the back end that we don't see.
and they're already going out of business sales in these stores. So now they're going to not go out of business, and we're going to save 200 to 400. Like, that's a big gap.
That's a big range.
Yeah. Like,
well, even the
of
Cons and Badcock thing went down that path of, oh, we're only closing 60 stores. No, we're closing 100. No, well, we're closing 100 Con stores. Oh, well, we're going to close the corporate Badcocks. And they all go down. Oh, this knight in shining armor is going to buy it. You know, like, they all go down that path. But I don't know. The whole thing's shady. Like, the whole bankruptcy court system just needs refinement.
There's funny business going on there. And then the room place.
Well, none of it's funny.
There's some unfunny business going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of not funny business.
Did you sell anything to room place?
Yeah, we got hit on that.
That's another one. Like,
and that's the most shady.
Yeah, we're just going to close some of the stores and not the others. And
we're going to file bankruptcy to get out of our leases. So we're going to fuck all the vendors that have sold us for all these years just so we can close 10 stores to get out of leases.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm going to just wet my gums right quick and just get a little.
You can't. That's a teaser.
I'm building an audience. Look, we got 8 people in the chat now.
Yeah. All right. Feels too familiar. You watch a lot of cop movies.
I do.
You got that from Beverly Hills Cop.
Did you see the new one?
No, which I know you said is good.
I liked it. You know, I don't ever watch TV, but I liked it.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing, and this is going to be the same thing with Happy Gilmore. This is the same thing with every Bad Boys. This is the same thing with the what was the one they just brought back?
Fast and Furious.
No, this is not the same thing as that. You got to be okay with it's not going to be an instant classic like the originals. Coming to America. That's the one that had real mixed reviews. I liked it. I thought it did
a new Beetlejuice.
The Beetlejuice. That was actually pretty good. I liked it. But you have to like the nostalgia of it and not expect it to be the best movie ever like the original Beetlejuice was.
Yeah.
Or the first Coming to America, right? Like, you just have to like the nostalgia of it. But the Beverly Hills Cop hit all the nostalgia. All of it. Everybody's there.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, I'll add it to the list, which I probably said before.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We might have said that on a previous podcast.
Yeah.
But I am aware that that's a good one and it should be on the list. So, so anyways,
special for Vegas.
No, outfits. I got a Temu jacket to wear.
Oh,
so I'm excited about that.
Can you show us a sleeve? Preview a sleeve?
No, you can't see it. It's for market attendees only.
I got
and I made this switch in High Point, but the sneakers with suits, I'm late to the game, and I'm not talking about the dress shoes that have white soles that are kind of built.
You're talking about sneakers.
I'm talking about white Vans. Like the.
Sorry, Alex is kicking his feet up over here.
I've really resisted. It's a hard thing for me to get used to the idea of wearing sneakers with a suit, but I did it in High Point. So I've crossed that threshold in October, and I'll do that again this market, like slacks.
So proud of you. So proud.
You patronizing is getting out of hand.
No. Why you say, is it patronizing or patronizing?
It's got to be patronizing.
Why?
Patronizing is when you go to a business, you patronize that business, and patronizing is when you're making fun of somebody to their face. Right? It's got to be.
Patronize.
Prove
I
me
mean, you're
wrong.
a patron of an establishment. I don't think it's a verb.
Yeah, you say
Hold on,
patronizing.
there's that.
I'm patronizing this establishment.
There's
right?
the Patreon. You
What's
know that? That's like the thing where you can follow people.
Oh, I thought that
Like
was
an app or
fancy
something.
tequila. So, anyways, the big news, everybody, before we get into Gabe's little drug escapade, the big news is I got
Joe's
married
married. That's right.
since the last podcast.
He has taken the leap of death.
No.
I'm just kidding. No.
Awesomeness.
It's great. They're amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Gabriel was the one to marry us,
I
which was a fantastic. People ask, so after the marriage or after the wedding, they're like, how was it? And I think when people say, how was it? They want to hear horror stories, right? Like
Think
when
so?
you say, yeah, absolutely. Like good stories are not interesting. And you can see it on people's faces. So like, how was the wedding? You're like, it was great. Want me to tell you about it? Like, that's fine. That's good. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
But if you say, oh my God, you're not going to believe, like the bride was set on fire, then everybody, you got their attention. But it was really, everything went well. It ended with somebody in an ambulance. So like what good party doesn't?
Yeah, that's great.
Unfortunate, very unfortunate circumstance.
And everybody eating Taco Bell.
We had Taco Bell delivered at the end. And we had a butt sketch artist, which seemed to be a big hit.
So yeah, that was great. It was a caricature artist who only did your butts, and I had it on my desk. I think my desk's a bit of a mess, and Craig was in that room, and I was like, "Oh my God, I have to show you this," and told him. He's like, "Love that." So their sense of humor is very much yours and Bree's sense of humor.
Oh,
Let me give you an idea.
Can't wait.
So they're newlyweds, about a year in, both their second marriages. And they didn't want the extravagant, like they did their backyard and they did it nice or whatever. But they everybody was asking where you registered, and they're like, we don't need anything, like we don't want anything, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so finally they sent out a link, like a QR code, and like everybody keeps asking, like, where are you registered? We're not registered, but if you want, you can donate to our honeymoon or something. And they had a QR code, and I was like, dude, you missed such an opportunity. You QR to the Rickroll. And he was like, oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah, that would be great.
I would be good.
Thinking along those same lines, like something that nobody would ever want to buy, like sponsor a sheep in Kenya or something.
What the fuck?
Name a star after me, or it's like one of those things that you get for the person who has everything. We adopted a llama for you. Yeah.
So yeah, the wedding was great. We had a lot of fun. Everybody had a lot of fun. It was great how y'all set it up. Like everybody was doing things. Some people went and did things together. Some people went on their own. Everybody knew which restaurants were good. That was really nice.
Yeah. Did you pay attention to the wedding website? Did you find that useful?
Yes. Not so much when I was there, but I kind of already had a little bit of the lay of the land.
Yeah.
From being there the weekend prior or whatever with you guys.
Yeah.
And then getting feedback from everybody else. But yeah, no, it was helpful. I liked it. Because like when people were talking, they already knew what spots to talk about.
Right. Well, and that so for people who are getting married, I was surprised at how many people weren't even aware of the website. Like we put a lot of effort into putting a list of things to do and places to stay and things like that. Restaurants to go to, you know, a curated list, because you get to a town and, you know, every restaurant says that they're great. And so we've tried these places. And so we know that, you know, some of the ones that say they're great are not necessarily great. So we put all of this stuff on a website, and we were surprised at how many people had never even been to the website. You know, had no idea. Just, you know, it was on the invitation. We texted it. Everybody that came to the wedding got a text with the wedding website in it. And so if I were doing it again, I would send more reminders as we got closer. Like, hey, check the website. Also, you know, as we're kind of counting down, like, here's things you might want to consider doing, or just generally keeping in touch with people would have been nice as we got closer to it. So, but I didn't realize what an energy suck the preparation was until it was over. And then I kind of felt like, well, now I can communicate with people again. I can take trips again. Like it was a money and an energy sponge, just like that whole year and a half of getting ready for it.
Yeah.
So, you know, allocating time to do different things to get ready and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
It's
but I think
fun.
though that it was an enjoyable experience from what I've gathered from you and Bree.
Oh yeah,
So, like,
yeah.
There are a lot of husbands out there that it was not.
No,
and like you guys did it different. Like y'all did it about what you liked and not what I'm trying to show. And so that was really refreshing to me to see. And I would imagine that the process of getting to that end result was a lot more enjoyable than, okay, I'm going to another fucking cake tasting. This is the 4th bakery. We got to try 20 cakes because my fiance is dragging me here because, you know, like,
yeah.
I don't think you guys did that shit.
No, we didn't. We didn't. We went to restaurants and said, what's a good restaurant we can tell people to go to when they're in town?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was really a lot of work, but an enjoyable process and an enjoyable night. Like we had a lot of fun, and just like everybody says, it just goes so fast. You know, you wish you have more time with everybody. It's the one chance to have all of your favorite people in the same room at the same time. And the after effect benefit, you know, of like everybody knowing everybody now, you know, like my family, everybody that I know knows you. But a lot of, you know, so they knew of you from me talking about you through all these years. Right. And now they know what you look like and they recognize you from the podcast. But, you know, just our other friends and, you know, talking to Emily and saying, well, I sent this to Sean, or, you know, just being able to use the names. So we're going to Molly and
the worlds.
Yeah. We're going to Molly and Dan's for a party, you know, and like, you don't have to explain, well, Molly is it, you know, is my friend, you know, you just say it and everybody knows who that is. Now.
Yeah.
That's right. That's fun. It's a nice, you know, combining of worlds. And then you were like a freaking celebrity.
I was just gonna say, like, that was kind of fun. Like, I'd be walking around the hotel and then like, oh, that's Gabe. And it'd be like 30 people at a table and it's like your whole family. And like, you know, I'd met your dad, right? But like in passing once or twice, but hadn't met your aunt and your stepmom and your real mom and your everybody, you know, and then like the next morning it was Bree's whole family. I'm like, I went to the restaurant to be quiet and do some edits on the speech or whatever. I don't know, do you call it whatever it's called? And like, and I hear them talking. I'm like, oh, y'all here for the wedding? Like, oh yeah, I'm Bree's dad. Like, oh shit. And so, you know, there's 20 of them and it was so much fun.
Yeah. It was great incredible. For us. Thank you for doing all that.
My absolute pleasure. It was fun.
Yeah.
And by the way, the scuba, that's on the list. I've already reached out to several places, but
well, and you realize you don't have to scuba. So they have scuba and
No,
snorkel.
I'm doing scuba.
So you want to wait until you get scuba certified. You still don't get to touch them.
That's fine. I'd
love
rather
that.
do it right. I'd rather
Okay.
do it right. I'm not.
All right.
So for the listeners out there, so Joe, after the wedding, somehow remembered that I said something years ago that I wanted to swim with a whale shark. And so after the wedding, he was like, "Hey, we appreciate you and we're going to pay for you to do that." And so that was super cool and I'm super excited about it. But
and you can do it at the Atlanta Aquarium.
yeah, down. But yeah, no, I wanted to get scuba certified anyways, and I would rather wait and do it the right way. And it's just I have market through mid-February or something like that, into February. So the classes are kind of like you need like 5 or 6 consecutive days. So
all right. Well, I've got it on my list as well, so I'll keep reminding you about it.
Don't worry, I'm not going to forget.
And you don't even necessarily need to know the dates, I don't think. I could just get you a gift card, but I don't want to do it and then, you just never get to it.
Yeah.
At some point, I'll get sick of it, sick of waiting, and I'm just going to do something else. So which I've almost reached that. I was like,
oh my God,
never going to get around to this.
1,000% I am. It's a big deal. I want to do it. I've already done the research. I've already looked at these schools' calendars. None of them line up because I got Vegas and Edison and Trib.
Did you already do Edison?
No, Edison is literally, I come back from Vegas on Tuesday. I think I leave Friday for Edison.
Okay.
The good news is I might get to see some orbs and UFOs and drones.
Well,
it's in New Jersey.
You can buy a drone on Amazon, and they're not.
No, I want that UFO stuff. You know me.
I don't know what you're talking about. So Edison is like a hotbed for drones and orbs.
New Jersey in general.
Oh, all right. Well,
how have you not seen this?
My TikTok is different than yours.
Bro, it's on mainstream.
I know all the dance moves. We got different TikToks, bro.
I'm gonna send you all the UAP videos I saved.
I won't watch them.
I'm gonna jam your inbox up.
What I know about New Jersey,
jam it up. Let's go. He's bringing it up. FBI investigates. Come on, let's go.
Who gives a shit? What you should look up about New Jersey
is that thing.
Why can't you make a left turn in New Jersey? Like, that's the real news. What's that? Pictures of the moon. That's nothing.
That's not a moon. There's hundreds and thousands of them, bro. That's a plane.
Hundreds of pictures of the moon. This don't mean nothing to me.
They're plasmoids. They're
nothing.
Living organisms.
Fake news.
No, it's not. FBI's fake news.
Yeah. Vice.
All right. Car-sized drones.
So I watched there's a documentary about Jerry Springer, and Jerry Springer's producer was a guy from the tabloids. And he basically, it was an interesting documentary, but he basically said, in the tabloid where he's like, we don't care if it's real. We know it's not real. These things are headlines that sell magazines. So this stuff could be real. Could be not real.
Don't take my joy, Fun Sponge.
I'm sure you're going to see some very talented UABs.
UABs?
I don't even know what it stands for.
UAP. Unidentified aerial phenomena.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of them.
Yeah.
In New Jersey. And you're not allowed to make a left turn, which I think is bigger news. But
so you just have the 3 rights?
Have you not driven in New Jersey?
Right. I remember the freeways suck.
New Jersey's got like hard medians. You can't make a left. You peel off to the right, and there's like a traffic light just for making
the whole state.
A lot of it.
Every street.
A lot of it. It's freaking weird.
All right.
And you can't pump your own gas, which is also weird.
They still have full service?
Yeah.
I'm for it.
I went there. Now, perhaps it's changed, but I went there when we were I was training with Storis. So 15 years ago. And I pulled up to the gas station and I got out of the car like you would, and somebody comes out and yells at you. What are you doing? You can't do that. Like, I'm an adult. Like, I know what I'm doing. You want to see my ID? And he's like, no, you don't do that here. Like, we pump the gas for you.
Weird.
What?
Unions.
Something. So
what else?
How's business?
Drag.
We got
the not great. Like, so the year ended really exciting. Like a lot of open pastures and opportunities, and the last product release was massively successful.
So when you say the year ended, are you talking about like right after October market, or literally kind of through that whole fourth quarter?
October market through the end of the year was like, this is looking really good. Everybody's liking the new look of Classy and everything we're doing and all the products, this, that, and the other. And but this year, I'm looking at just raw numbers, like product shipped, and it's not good. But then I realized, like, okay, we came back on the 3rd, and then like the every order in our system passes through one person. Okay. And I recognize that that's a problem.
Passes through what?
One person.
Okay.
And there's a lot of automation involved, but at the end of the day, she is confirming and moving all orders to production. So she ends up with the flu. So we get back to work the 3rd. We send her home with the flu. So she doesn't come back to like whatever it was. And you're just, so, it's like, there's some reasons for the slowness, but we'll see. I mean, we got a lot of things going on, a lot of irons in the fire. I think it's going to be a massive year for us.
And when you're comparing things, months, quarters, whatever, do you pull cons out of last year's numbers to see, like, how are we doing if we didn't have them then? Because we're not going to have them going forward. No,
you got to just look at it as a whole. Whether it's cons or XYZ, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day,
there's always going to be somebody coming and somebody going.
Right. And there's always that underlying cost of overhead that you need to make this much in margin to cover that nut, or you're going home empty-handed.
Yeah.
Or worst case, in the red. So it doesn't matter who it is, if they're still here or not, you better find a way to make it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you seen any, like, with the absence of cons, Badcock, have you seen any opportunity for somebody else to take that spot? Now, I have noticed that there's Badcock dealers that are banding together, and that's starting to come out in the news. So, here it's 6 stores, and like Queen Bee or Queen Furniture, something like that, in Charlotte hired Dave Horvath. So, and I believe that the news said that they're going to try to incorporate other Badcock stores into the Queen Furniture family of stores. And then there was just an article last week about another group of Badcock stores kind of banding together and opening up a new business. Are you seeing any of that or orders from any of that?
So that's been going on for quite some time. I don't know that banding together is the right term. I mean, maybe that is happening, but most of what we've seen or heard of is, hey, these guys owned like 10 Badcock stores. Now they're independent. Can I pitch them? Like,
okay.
Of course. And so there's a bunch of that. Then there's also like, oh, these guys bought like 4 American freight stores. Can I pitch them? We haven't seen a huge influx in that, but I don't have really a metric to track that. I do like the idea that the market is deconsolidating, I guess. There's got to be a word for that.
Yeah. So instead of being Badcock with 300 stores or whatever it was, 1,000 stores, it's going to be 50 owner, 10 stores each.
Yeah.
which that math didn't add up, but mind your business.
Yeah, I know what you
I was talking to the viewers.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I like that. I mean, I would prefer it the old way, but I think it's good for the industry.
Yeah, a little easier the old way. You got one PO, massive quantities, one person to sell. But if you don't sell them, then it really sucks. And now you got a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
And so how do you get into that? Like you just rely on the reps to go out and hit the streets and be
the reps, our marketing efforts, our outbound sales calls, markets, right?
Well, but like even outbound, all of those people were, John at badcock.com, John at cons.com. You don't even have an email.
You don't have the contact. No, yeah. The reps need to be in the know. Like the reps working there, but also you have those people who are calling in because they've seen these ads for so long, or more likely, hey, we carried classy art at the Badcock location and we did really well with it. How do we open an account? Right. So there's a lot of that happening.
Yeah. But it's such a great highlight on that conversation of, does the industry need reps? That, rhetoric has been going on for a long time. And this is the exact scenario to prove that the industry needs reps really bad, because the rep is the one that's been calling on the stores all these years.
This is one scenario that makes it real clear for those dummies who think otherwise. And if you think otherwise, you're a dummy. I'm sorry for all you dummies that think that.
Dummy.
But no, I've said it before. I'll say it again. The reps are the blood of this industry.
Yeah. Super clear. When you have a situation like this, like they're the only ones that know who those people are. They have their cell phones.
Right. But yeah, those people who maybe didn't recognize that the reps were that important back then, those aren't the guys the reps are calling now.
Yeah. Right.
So there's that too.
And then what happens in your world? Like now you have these quasi-established businesses who don't have credit, who don't have established credit.
Right.
So then what do? Do you take a risk on them?
We have prepaid. We have prepaid terms.
But so then that is a burden on them, right? Like now all of those guys have to prepay when they're accustomed to being on consignment. So but
they know that. Nobody's going to say, okay, I'm going independent and not know the rules of engagement. Yeah. Because there are people out there helping them go independent, like a Larkin, right? Explaining the how-tos and what everything means, and hoping and investing in them that they're going to be successful.
Yeah.
So they know, like, you can't just come out the gates with credit. Like, it doesn't work like that. Like, maybe you can get a line of credit for CIT, BB&T, whatever. But usually it takes some collateral and things like that, and that will help establish your credit. But for us carrying our own paper, we need to see transactions. We need to see others giving you credit, them being paid on time, things like that. So we're more flexible, but yeah, we've been burned enough these last 2 years between all these guys going out. Like, we're not taking chances on anybody. I don't care who you are.
Yeah. Well, then I forgot about American Freight.
Yeah.
That's another one that's just, and there's no news about them. It was just kind of like gone.
Yeah.
No saving. That's it.
On our side of the street, we knew about American Freight a year ago. We knew about Big Lots a year ago. Those were like way in the.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Everybody's like, be careful, be careful, be careful. And then 6 months ago, it's like, yeah, they're going next. They're done. They're done.
And does that affect, like, are you able to react to that in a supply, standpoint? Like, say, hey,
well, we didn't sell.
We heard, so we
didn't sell either one of them. We didn't sell either one of them. But like, right. If we heard from Badcock and Cons, we would have adjusted accordingly. just been a little bit tight. And we were somewhat tight. Like we stopped shipping if you were one day overdue. But their thing went like quick.
Yeah.
It was fast. So
Yeah, and it's a bad situation for the supplier because like if I'm the retailer and I say, well, if you stop supplying me, then I can't sell anything to pay you. Like it's the current stuff that's selling. It's the old stuff I have that's not selling. So if you don't give me any current stuff, then there's going to be nothing to pay you. And at least if you give me, if you keep my flow coming, there's a chance of me paying it. Like that is such an ugly conversation to have and a situation to be in.
yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know. I want to talk a big game and be like, I don't care, pay me. You already have the goods. But when I'm in that situation, it's different.
Never like that. Yeah.
It's never like that. It's like, yeah, we've been doing business 10 years and now you guys struggling. We're trying to help you out because we've had vendors that have helped us out when we needed help.
Yeah.
But the difference is we're not saying we're going bankrupt. That's not going to happen. We will fight tooth and fucking nail. We will never not pay our vendors. But what we do is we'll contact our vendors. Like in that scenario, right? Badcock Cons was a big cash issue for us from lots of avenues and angles. We'll reach out to them and say, hey, can we get extended terms? Here's what's going on. We've been doing this for 30 years. We're good. And unanimously, they always say yes, but we're asking for it. We're not asking for more credit, just extended term. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. No, and it's my dad and I just had this conversation on Saturday where, there was a time he worked for a company called Unclaimed Freight, which was a furniture chain in Tampa. And they came upon hard times. And he said that the finance guy was just dodging all the creditors and, just not answering calls and stuff like that. And he said, I went to High Point Market and I went to all of our suppliers and I just said, like, we have a plan. Here's what we're doing. We're paying you. And he said, it was just talking about it with them. It was just telling them that you had a plan and not dodging them made a huge difference. And he said he even had one guy say, he's like, I've made so much money off of you guys through the years that we're good. Like if you never send me another check, I'm fine, but I'll do what I can to help you out, through this. And he said, we'll pay for every order. We'll prepay, and then we'll pay a little bit of what we owe you on the past due stuff. And so he's like, just talking to the folks made a huge difference.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. All right. Well, you want to eat this freaking candy?
Drugs.
We have another,
right. Okay.
Just as a teaser for the next episode. We have another thing for the end.
But no, we don't do it. Just tell them we got another challenge or something.
Oh, we got
taking away all the foreshadowing, man.
Another interesting thing.
Here's the question. Are we doing it at the same time?
We have to. Oh, I want to show you one more thing. Thing. An advertising thing. This is back to furniture industry, since that's sort of kind of what our podcast is about. So
it is.
This is a catalog for city furniture.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can see that, but it is thick. And it's paper. I don't know if you can tell, but this isn't like a UFO. I actually have this in my hand.
Yeah.
This is real. And it's got a lot of pages to it. And the thing that I find interesting about that is they are a massive company and very successful. And they're still printing giant catalogs and mailing them to people. And so I think for the furniture retailers out there, I'm in Chattanooga and there's nobody that like Rooms to Go is probably the closest thing to that size. Rooms to Go, Ashley. But I don't get that in my mail. This came to my dad's house and he sent it to me. So, there are retailers that are still using that traditional advertising stuff. And, there's value in that. Like they spent a lot of money creating this, printing it, sending it. And if you're in a small market where you don't have a major player like that, you may not be exposed, and you may think that the entire advertising world has gone digital because you as that store owner are not getting that at your house. But it's not all digital. There are still places for traditional advertising. And I'm saying that as the digital guy. So I just want to kind of put that out there for
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. Don't give up on print.
Are you bringing that to Vegas? Can you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we are eating this
Black Death.
My whole thing is backwards.
Candy.
Can we post edit?
No, it just shows up. It shows up forwards.
It does?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it shows up backwards.
It's mirrored for you.
Okay. So we're gonna eat at the same time. Is the goal to not make a face and keep it in as long as possible? Or what do you think?
I don't know what to expect. So the backstory of this is Gabe said he sent me some like other podcast, not that we're copycats. And
no, they're like
we should do
TikTokers
this.
and shit.
Yeah. TikTokers, kids, remember when TikTok was a thing? And so he's like, we should do this. And so he's like, you should buy these. And so now we have these things and they're like candies. And I guess we just eat them and record our reaction, right?
Okay. Why does Alex have the second camera up now?
We have to go at the same time. Is Alex ready? So that's
supposedly the most sour candy.
I don't know.
We'll see. Yours looks
Black Death.
Count it off.
3, 2, 1.
Oh my god.
That's fine. Tastes like cardboard. Like, really, it's not like cardboard.
Oh my god.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
My mouth is so watery. I can't swallow.
It hurts the sides of your mouth.
It doesn't go away.
It's hot.
Well, how long do I have to suck it? Wait,
it's gone.
I'm going away now. Oh my god.
That wasn't that funny.
It's all gone. That was intense, bro.
I'll sober you up. So
my teeth feel like naked.
All right.
Like my teeth are like scratch each other. What's the word for that?
Cavity creeps. You get past the initial.
I want to roll it around in this.
It's just like a Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, but it took a second to get through that sour. I'm gonna
It
roll
didn't
mine.
hurt. It
I
didn't
got
hurt.
extra sugar in the bottom of the bag. I'm going back in.
It was just well. Can I spit it into my drink and then drink it?
Oh,
That's gross. Yeah. So it's not the worst thing. There you go, folks. Black Death. It's more sour than any of the sour candies at the grocery store
mm-hmm.
or the movie theater. And I think my stomach is convulsing, actually.
That plus the whiskey plus the milkshake I had on the way in. It's gonna be a rough night.
Well, that was fun. So thanks for joining us, everybody.
It's great to see you all.
Happy to the New Year's to you alls.
All right, guys.
We do it for
We'll
you.
see you soon.
Keep in mind, like and subscribe, follow.
Hit the bell.
Hit
the like. All the actions on the left of the screen or the right of the screen, depend if your screen is mirrored.
On the right of your screen or the bottom.
Not if you're dyslexic.
Oh, hello.
Oh. All right, signing out. See you guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Well, that was nice because we were able to pick the best sellers and things like that. What you found was,
bitch, I can see you falling asleep while I'm telling my story.
I'm not falling asleep. Look, just try it.